Hello and welcome back to TED Talks Truth and Reality about the decline of spiritualism is directly linked to the rise of selfism. Before I get into today's talk, I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to all the men and women in our armed forces, as well as to all the police forces across the country, all the firefighters, all the first responders, all the doctors and nurses who serve to protect our right to be free and do the stupid things that we do. Selfism has been a topic that I've spoken about during my last 40-odd discussions. I think that if you look back, you'll get a good feeling for what I mean by it. But in today's society, selfism means a movement directly to more selfish thoughts, decisions, closed-mindedness, narrow-mindedness, and an overall evil veil that keeps us from seeing the truth and reality of the value of spiritualness in our lives. Jesus tried to tell us to forget all things in the past and to go forward loving self, loving God, and loving all others in a way you'd like to be loved yourself. Well, because things are so messed up, I figured that no one really loves themselves anymore, or else we would be more peaceful, more harmonious, and more joyful, especially at this time of year. But it appears that we are becoming more fragmented, more selfish, more faction-oriented, where various closed-minded, self-centered groups fight to get their point above the majority. We see this with the protesters and the rioters as socialism and communisms and the various liberal progressive ideas overtake the true reason for protesting. Debate and protest was a natural gift by our founding fathers. They believed that we should get out and voice our opinions. But Jesus said, in all those things we do and say, do no harm. Do not infringe on another person's space, so to speak. However, the internet and social media allows us to reach out anonymously and do vile, despicable things and have the anonymity of the internet between us and the people that we talk to. I have been hoping to use the internet to reach out, to grab individuals' spirituality and their minds and their thinking, to realize how off base we've come over the last 2,000 years. Jesus tried to simplify it. We have complicated it. From the very day that he died, others have usurped and taken over and added their own interpretations, their own explanations, and consequently we have over 40,000 denominations of Christianity that fought back against the Catholic movement that was the first organized church. Even the Islam believers are fragmented with so many facets and sects and different belief systems that they have even within their own religion. And also there are 1,000 other off-the-wall religious movements out there that all have lost sight of the simplicity of Jesus' original message. I have been trying to get you to download my free book, Volume 1, on self-enlightenment in the book series of Slow Down and Love. That book is sort of a primer or a handbook for 101 search for self-enlightenment. It's a follow the dot story my truth story that tells why and how I got lost and traveled the wilderness for 40 years, because I began my search for self-enlightenment 40 years ago. And I have tried to beseech you to download the book to begin your own search. It's free. It's on Kindle. It's on ebooks. And it's a good way to start the new year with the pursuit of a new life. I don't claim to know any of the answers. I just claim to say that maybe I found a shortcut directly to the Creator. And it's not mine. It's one that's been spoken about and by many, many enlightened seers and philosophers and religious holy men down through the centuries, since the very first primitive people recognized that there's something beyond our physical life, that there just might be some spiritual aspect that brings the balance and harmony and peace that we're lacking in our lives today. We see division being championed by our own president, by our own government, by our own leaders. We see people like Reverend Al Sharpton out there making a living off of dividing America into a black and white community. It isn't that. America is made up of all facets and all individuals. What has happened, we have lost our individuality, and we have adopted or bought into some programming or conditioning by people that are out there to hopefully not make a living, but it appears that way, that are benefiting and making money off of this division. I would like whoever is watching this thing to realize that you are the only one that matters. You need to discover your own self-truth, and you need to begin a journey for your own self-enlightenment. Don't accept the words of others. The truth that many see out there is a fabricated version of someone else's point of view. I want you to develop your own perspective. I want you to think out of the box of your own closed-minded views. And my book helps that. So I am hoping, I am praying, and I have the faith that you too will see the value if you read Slow Down and Love, Volume 1, Self-Enlightenment. So please download it, and on our next Truth Talk, we will begin to take Chapter 1 and continue on through the book so I can explain the subtleties and some of the behind-the-scene thinking that didn't make it to the book. And the reason I had to write the book is if you could understand the title, just simply slow your life down and love yourself, love God, love others, and love every minute of your life, then I wouldn't have had to write the book. But it's obvious the way things are falling apart, and as they say, we're going to hell in a handbasket quicker than ever before. It appears that it is needed at this time, and the timing couldn't be any better for you or for me. I intend to start this year pursuing a happy new life. I wish you the same, and until we meet again, Godspeed.